Hi guys, in this video I want to show you behind the scenes of Facebook ads that have created basically 7-figure e-commerce stores. So as you can see here, this store has generated $4.5 million in sales, and for example this month so far it's generated $71,000 so far in sales. And as you can see, like behind the scenes, that was basically has driven the success of the store. $1.8 million in Facebook advertising spent and $3.5 million in direct sales from Facebook, right? So on top of it, you know, there are different like email sequences and like different stuff that basically has driven the success of this e-commerce store. Now, what I want to show you in this training specifically is how to make Facebook ads for e-commerce in 2019 and how to launch and scale product with Shopify Dropshipping. So the first, the fundamentals, right? So the fundamentals, pixel with advanced matching has to be set up. So what I mean by that is, so if you go here into the setup of your pixels, right? So within any ad account, you should have this like setup, right, of pixel, right? So here's the setup of the pixel, and so if you have the setup of the pixel, so here if you click on the setup, right, click manually install the pixel yourself, so you always have this little button here, right, automatic advanced matching. So this has to be always turned on, because if you have the like if you install the pixel and you didn't have this turned on, then you're losing on a lot of people that have, for example, like cookies enabled or disabled in their browser, or they have like some incognito browser. So then you are not able to catch these people. So this will add like 10-20% to your like return on ad spend, because you will be able to retarget and target people more effectively. So always have this turned on for your store. Then Facebook business page created, obviously, right? That should be relevant to your brand niche and that you can use basically for long term. So always think like about long-term strategy with all of these assets. So if you create a business page, think how you can use it for the next, like, you know, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, right? Then customize your column set. So what I mean by this is, so if you go here, if we go back into the ads manager, right, we want to see like what the complete picture of our advertising, right? So if we go here, then here we have the ROI view. So basically, if you go here and you click customize columns, you'll be able to set up all of the necessary metrics you need to like basically measure the performance of your campaigns. And typically we use cost per purchase, right, which is important. We have like total number of purchases, and then we have so this one we don't need. Website purchase return on ad spend on website purchase return on ad spend here, right? So we basically want to see the complete picture of our advertising and whether we are profitable. Also, just to see like how our funnel works, right? We want to have the add to cart and cost per add to cart. So we want to see like how much does it cost for one person to add to the cart. So we want to see the breakdown in the funnel, whether, let's say if we have like 10 add to carts, maybe there's like a little breakdown that we can fix and get more people to actually complete their purchase. So we want to see the complete funnel in a context, right? Then link clicks. So we want to see link clicks, click rate, click rate for link clicks, and then CPC, right? So we have all of these metrics now here. Turn off the ones that are not necessary, right? So you can see like all of these metrics now here. So we've set up our view. We are able to see the whole picture, and we save it as preset ROI view, right? So just replace it. You can see now like we have the complete picture of our advertising. So we'll just make sure that it's all aligned here, right? And so basically now we have everything that we need to, you know, properly see the picture of our advertising. We see the returns, we see like how much we're getting back in sales from what we advertise and stuff like that. So we've set up all of those important metrics. We see all of these metrics in one view. Then you have to properly structure ad account, and so every campaign name needs to have the objective and traffic type, right? So we have the campaign names. We want them to have the name of like, for example, cold, right? So on campaign level, you should name your campaigns like cold advertising, right? Or just cold. So you know that's cold traffic, right? That you're targeting cold traffic. Another campaign, for example, warm. Another campaign, hot. So you can see like all of the campaigns that you can use, like basically properly named, right? And then ad sets with targeting, country, and bidding, right? So just to give you an example here, like this ad set, for example, so this one is retargeting, right? So product catalog, all items, product view, or EDC, no purchase, 60 days. So it's properly named. So now when we review the data, we know like, okay, so that was the ad set that was actually performing, or that's the audience that actually performing. So we can make our decisions based on that effectively. Now, next step here is basically the goal for you is just to have everything set up for to speed up learning process. So for example, if you see all of these numbers here, right, then you can see, okay, so our click-through rates are like on the lower side or on the higher side, how much you're paying for, like what are our click-through rates, how much you're paying per click, how much we are paying per add to cart, how much we are paying per purchase, what is our return on ad spend. So we want to see like all of those metrics in a great context, because that will allow us to basically just measure the performance more effectively, optimize properly, and being able to scale up profitably as well. So after all of this setup, we have the targeting research. So get into Facebook options for targeting and choose one bull-eye targeting option that would make sense for your product. For example, if you're selling like skincare product, let's say if we go here, so like here, for example, let's say this one, right? So we go into this ad set here, and then we just see the available options for us, right? So for example, here we would choose like skincare, right? Let's say we sell like skincare product, right? Skincare, right? So we have like wide interest of like skincare, which is like 147 million people, right? And then based on that is, you know, as you can see here, all of the similar interests that we can potentially, you know, test, right? So a lot of similar interests that we can potentially test, right? And also, like if you browse here, you might find some of the other interests that might have sense for you to test. So let's say we are selling like skincare products. So skincare might be one of the best audiences that we can basically like start with, and then gradually just refine that audience more and more, right? So we identify like what's a core audience, what's one targeting like interest we can start with, and then gradually we expand. If you haven't watched my videos or my video on targeting, how basically Facebook works, how you can gradually expand where you to the point where like you might have like almost like zero targeting, then I highly recommend you watch that video, right? So we start with this like targeting research, like basically just logical things that we can test, right? And then we can also use the tool Audience Insights, right? And so Audience Insights is a tool that is located here within Ads Manager. So Audience Insights you can see here. And so this tool you can use for like also identifying similar audiences, right? So if you go here, let's say we click here and we go and put skincare, it should give us some like relevant interests, like skincare, right? So now we have like other similar interests and pages that we can potentially target, like Ulta Beauty, Sephora, right? We have Urban Decay Cosmetics, Ulta Beauty, Clinique, right? We have all of these brands and similar interests that we can potentially test. You can see tons of them. And then if we refine our age, let's say we know our target buyer is like 35 plus, then we can refine it even more, right? So you can see like that gives you a very good idea like where you should start your targeting. And then if you know you're targeting like that one interest, then all you have to care about is basically figuring out like how you communicate the value of your product. So you only have to focus on ads then. So targeting part is basically figured out for you. And then you basically take like 10 of these audiences that you think might make the most sense for you to use, and you will be testing. So I have another video that outlines how to test products properly. You have to watch that. And you have to use logical approach in constant testing. and constantly invest like 20% of your budget to test new audiences. So all of these audiences that can be tested, right? And one of these might be highly profitable for you. So you have to constantly test new audiences. So finding winning creative. Once we have that, we want to find a winning creative, and I recommend that you create 3 variations of the ad set of ad, right? So you need to have like different thumb stoppers. So for example, if we go here just to show you the examples of ads. For example, examples of ads that have done well, right? So let's say if you want to see like top Shopify ads, like you can see like we are using the ad spy tool. So you can use it as well for your research of products to sell. We can also like set it up, for example, products that have only been seen like this month. So you can see here, right? So these are all like branded. Okay. So like for example, this one. I don't know if this like dropshipping product, but just to give you an example, right? Just to give you an example, right? Or another one, this seems like a dropshipping product. Another one here. Let's see. So you can see like all of these, BlendJet, it's a brand. So fish hook remover, right? So you can see like you can just start with like just one ad. Let's say this one here, just like one variation of the ad, right? But they also could use like few different variations, and I recommend testing like different 5 seconds. So now here it's interesting, the dynamic, like you don't know like what's happening, right? And then you could have like different first 5 seconds. Like this could be a beginning of this video as well, right? Like you watch it and you don't know like what's happening. So it's good thumb stopper. Right, and then you start with $10 per ad set, 3 ads per ad set. So you basically have like this testing structure where you test different ads within one ad set. So you let Facebook optimize and find which ad gets you the best results possible. And video typically works better for scalability, but images are good for easy to understand products like jewelry and products up to $10. So for example here, like products up to $10, right? So let's say if you wanted to see like what works for images, right? So the most successful like image ads, then we can see, okay, so that's basically closing. You see what you buy, right? It's easy to understand what you're buying specifically. This one is like sandal shoes. Also, it's pretty easy to understand. You have another shoes. So basically closing items, they're good, or items that do not cost a lot, or like this one, right? It's very easy to understand what item this is, what you're paying for. And you optimize your purchase and see what creative gets you the highest click rate and engagement, because you want ads that getting high engagement, because then Facebook will reward you with lower CPMs, with cheaper cost per click. So you want to use ads that create that high engagement. Then use those learnings to further improve. So once you have all of the data, again, like you utilize all of that knowledge that you have accumulated to basically refine further. So you analyze the data that you have accumulated. You see what ads give you the best click rate, what ads give you the best like cost, and then you optimize further from there. So that's what you do to find a winning creative. Lookalike audiences. So after 500 events, although Facebook recommends that 100 is a minimum, you can utilize lookalikes to find people similar to buy, engage, etc. And you can create 1 to 10% lookalike audiences from each audience in each country. I have a separate video that covers this in detail. And purchase lookalikes are the most powerful. If you have like thousands of sales, you can use lookalike audiences of most valuable customers. So I'll show you the specific place where you can read about this. So you can see here, these are all of the details about utilizing this feature. So how do I create value based on lifetime value, right? So you have all of the details how to set it up. I won't explain in this video because it will take too long, but you can just go to this link and check it out. Video viewers, engagement, add to cart, lookalikes can be tested too, but they're typically less effective. So you have to keep that in mind, that ideally you would start with lookalikes of your purchasers. So that's the best lookalikes in my experience. Now, once you have that, so that's basically lookalikes you can do once you have 500 events, let's say 500 sales, right? Then you can create lookalikes from that and basically expand. Initial testing you typically do, and that's a approach that worked for us. You test 10 audiences, you identify winning audiences and creatives, and you have to kill losers, right? You have to kill losers fast. I know some people, they allow too much time for testing, then basically their losses accumulate, and then they become unprofitable and they stop advertising on Facebook. So you have to kill losers fast. Test lookalike audiences 1% for view cart and add to cart, view content and add to cart for US, Canada, Australia, and UK. So once, let's say, you accumulated like 500 view content events, you can create lookalikes from those, like 1%, and test for these developed countries. That's one of the variations of the audiences. So basically you create lookalike from audiences of people who have been to your website or who have added to cart. So basically you're asking Facebook to find you more of such people that likely to come to your website. So these audiences are sometimes effective, but you would have to test it. Then targeting, Big Four targeting, regular targeting, US, Canada, Australia, UK, one interest per ad set. So you want to basically test each interest separately at first. And age range from your research, or 1865 if you don't know. So let's say if you don't know like your target audience, then you would just start with 1865 and you let Facebook optimize. And you only target Facebook feed, right? So for placement, only Facebook feed. And benchmarks to watch for is click-through rate link, 2% minimum, ideally 5+%. So basically the higher the click-through rate, the cheaper your CPM will be, the cheaper your clicks will be, and you're more likely to scale up to high daily spends, because Facebook likes advertisers that have high click-through rate, because it means people are engaged with the content they click, and Facebook is likely to make more money. You're likely to make more money as advertisers. So it's a win-win situation for Facebook and you, so they like these situations. And then high engagement and quality score. So here on the ad level, right? So you have all of the like metrics in terms of like relevant score and stuff, right? So for example, here you can see like what is the relevant score, right? So for example, here, like you can see like that's like 9, 10, right? So this is like quite good relevant score. That's how you want to keep it, right? And like these ads have been highly profitable. So click-through rate link, as you can see, 5, 6, 9%, which is very good. CPMs, right? So 10, 9 is pretty good relevant score. So that's how you want to keep it. If you keep your ads like 9, 10, you have tremendous opportunity to scale up and to make a lot of money with your ads, because like Facebook likes that when you create ads that create high engagement. Right? And so these are some of the benchmarks you want to watch for. Like if your ads do not perform, like for example, if you have ads like 10-9, like you have to keep them running, you have to scale them up. You can see very profitable. If they, for example, they only have like click-through rate of like 0.5%, then you have to kill them and you have to test another creative. So you're constantly kind of like optimizing and searching for better solution. For better ads, for better targeting. So you're constantly looking for better utilize of your advertising spend. And so some of the notes for testing, right? You have to identify your break-even point with your product. So let's say your product costs you, let's say you buy it from your supplier for like $20, then you have some other expenses, let's say on average like $5. So $25 is what you pay to get the product and basically just have it, right? And then let's say you sell it for $50 on Shopify. Then you have like difference between that and your product cost is $25. So that's what you can afford to just break even with your like product. Obviously you want to make a profit, but just to break even. So that's like the minimum that you need to aim for. So if your cost per purchase goes over like $25, if it's only like 26, you're already losing money. So you have to eliminate that. You need to know exactly how much can you spend to acquire a customer with Facebook ads. That's why, and you have to kill your ads at that point. So $10 to $20 ad sets are good for testing with lower cost products. So what I mean by that is, let's say you test like 10 different ad sets at $10 each. So those are good to test lower cost products, but let's say if your product costs like $100 or $150, then you would need some bigger budget ad sets to test it properly. You would need to bid like $50, $100 per ad set in my experience. And then again, you kill it if it doesn't sell at your break-even point. Let's say you only can dedicate $100 to get a sale. So, like after $100, you basically have to kill the ad. No matter like if that's like, as Facebook says, it's seasoned or it's not seasoned. Their best practice is to keep ads running for like 7 days until it properly optimizes. But if you do that, like obviously you'll lose a lot of money because not all of the ads will be profitable for you. So you have to kill them fast. You have to know your KPIs and you have to know your break-even points. So ideal ratio of daily budget to CPA, CPA is cost per acquisition, is $10 to $20. So if your goal for to acquire a customer is like $10 per purchase, then you would have to bid like $100 to $200 per ad set. That's ideal, right? And then you have to gradually move to that level, because at that level I found the ads performing the most like in the most like scalable way and the most consistent way. So you need to have basically less campaigns and ad sets, but with higher budgets. So instead of having like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different ad sets, you want to kind of like segregate them in less ad sets over time, so they have higher budgets, but and they're spending well, but they're more consistent because there are not too many of them. So that's how Facebook likes it. And then higher budgets ad sets are typically more consistent as Facebook has more budget to work with, so you have to kill it if it's not profitable. Now, another thing here, so for example, in this situation, the break-even point for me was like $30, right? So $30, as you can see here, the ads needed to be killed, right? So just show you the example here. Right, so if ads, for example, did not get to that point, right? So like $30, then they had to be killed, right? So just to show you example, as you can see, like $40, that's too much, right? That was killed, that was killed, that was killed. Like all of them were killed, but they still like overspent few dollars. So few dollars here, few dollars there. So that's how majority of advertisers are losing money, because you cannot keep it like overspending. If it's not working, it has to be shut down, right? So that's what you have to keep in mind always, right? Once you find winners, like duplicate them with higher budgets. So let's say if you have $10 ad sets, like duplicate them like exactly the same with $20. If you have $20, duplicate them with 40. If you have 40, duplicate them with 80. Just double the budget, right? That's the easiest way to scale. And if your creative is good, if your ads are good, then you shouldn't have problems basically scaling this way. And continue to explore other interests, behavior, targeting using suggestions tool and audience insights, as I showed you before. So you continuously like test new audiences. Again, your break-even point. If they don't work, like you shut them down, and you shut them down, you shut them down. So you constantly basically iterating and testing new stuff while something is working well for you. You constantly continue to test. Small precise audiences are more expensive to reach. So if audience is, let's say, 50,000 people, that will be very expensive to reach. It might be more targeted, but it won't be very scalable because there are only so many people in that audience that can potentially buy your product. So ideally aim for a wider interest with 10 plus million people. Obviously, that will apply for products with more like wide appeal, like weight loss products, skincare products, like gadgets for that a lot of people could potentially buy. And then analyze the data, find what worked for you. Like for example, for us here, we would analyze, okay, so what has gotten us like the most consistent results. So we had like 102 purchases here. We had good relevance scores. So then we would go to this ad. You would try to use it more and more and more, because we would want to like basically scale up our results. So that's what you need to keep in mind. You have to constantly like test new stuff, right? So and you have to learn from data that you're getting. So Like here, for example, it's quite small spend. It's only like $33,000, but we've had some learnings, like what worked for us, what did not work, so we can now go and just evaluate all of the data that we have here and just utilize it to make further decisions, to scale up. So that's basically your like launch pad for like making further decisions, right? So always keep in mind your kill points. So that's very important, because a lot of people miss this. They just keep it emotional, like they would like advertise here. So for example, as I showed you before, like here we would like overspend, just to show you, like $42, right? We overspent. It was an emotional decision, or probably it wasn't emotional, just like Facebook just spent money too fast, $2,000 a day budget. But as you can see, it's kind of like $42. We're not profitable at that point, or we just like, break even maybe. Like it's probably loss on this stage. And so you have to calculate that number precisely. So for us, it was loss. We've lost a few dollars here, right? So, I mean, if you accumulate, let's say 50 of those ad sets, then, I mean, your losses accumulate too. So make sure you monitor those metrics specifically and shut down ads if they do not perform for you. So always keep in mind that break-even point, guys. So optimization, your main KPI is break-even point, your return on ad spend or cost per purchase. So for us here, it was cost per purchase, it's $30, right? So that's what we basically focused on, right? We focused on that number to, to kill ads fast, right? We focus that number to keep ourselves profitable. And when you're starting out, give ads 48 hours to accumulate the data. So if that's a new ad account, give them 48 hours just to get some data in. And moving forward, learn to analyze today's data and kill faster. What I mean by that is, let's say here, we would go through today's data and we would kill like what's not profitable for us. So that's very like important for you to just keep in mind today's data. For most ad accounts, I found that's the best solution, because you shut down like what's not profitable today. If it's profitable, you keep it running, and basically you constantly keep your eye on the performance. Right, so then what you need to do is basically break down the funnel into small parts. For example, if cost per click, link, click-through rate are good but no ATC, then you have to lower the price to get data faster. I'll share the framework to basically make these decisions with you guys. And then add DPA and retargeting in separate campaigns to recover return on ad spend. So retargeting and DPA might go into separate campaign here. As you can see here, that's retargeting, right? So we did not like spend a lot of money on it, didn't get us any sales, but just to show you that sometimes for certain businesses, retargeting is very effective. So you have to set it up. I mean, if you don't get a lot of traffic, probably you don't have to set it up. But if you're planning to scale up specific offer, specific product, then you have to set up, and you can use DPA, dynamic product catalog, to basically set it up properly. So no matter what products you advertise, people will still see the products they have seen on the newsfeed that they visited. So it will be very, very effective for you. So add retargeting in DPA to make it more effective, and that's basically the cheat sheet. Like, I mean, this one thing this thing is like very valuable. So basically it goes like this: if engagement is good but no clicks, then the product is bad, change it, right? Then if engagement is good, clicks are good but no ATC, it means the price is too high. Let's say you have a lot of engagement, people are clicking through the website, but no one is adding to the cart, then probably the price is too high. You have to lower it, right? If engagement is good, your clicks are good, but you have a lot of add to carts, but no sales, then probably the shipping rate is too high, or you're trying to upsell with wrong product, you get people distracted. So that's basically the cheat sheet, guys. If you want, it's below this video. I'll share this with you. And then for scaling, right? So once you have your winners, you sort by highest return on ad spend. So for us, in this specific campaign, it was let me see, the one with the most sales. So let's see this one, right? So we would sort by the amount spent, because typically we spend money on something that works, right? So you can see here, like these have been like the biggest like winners, right? And so we would just duplicate them to higher budget, as I explained before. So $10 to 20, 30 to 90, 50 to 250. Then you duplicate your winners into CBO campaigns, right? So for this account specifically, I don't have CBO available, but CBO is basically just duplicating those like winner ads, right? So for example, here I would just like take, let's say 3 or 5, let's say 5 of these like winners, right? And I would duplicate them into new campaign, right? CBO winners, right? 1. And so I would just duplicate it. So this option is not available with this account specifically, but it's available probably for you, so you have to use it. So CBO winners 1, and you duplicate, and you basically all of them just duplicate that CBO, which will spend money more, effectively. You give Facebook more leverage for spending your advertising budget, right? So, but do it gradually to not overspend, right? So I would recommend start CBO with $100, $250 budget. And if it works, then you can duplicate CBO campaign with higher budget, with $500, $2,000 budget. But you have to do it gradually to not overspend, because CBO spends money very fast. And then move more and more of winning ad set to CBO. So you want to basically segregate all of your ad spend in as less accounts as possible, as less campaigns as possible. So you basically have to like keep it very like neat and organized, because the less ad sets, the easier it is to control, and Facebook also has more like predictability and more consistency in their advertising if you have less of them, less of assets, not more. And so Facebook loves that distribution. So retargeting and DPA. So you basically figure out your front end ads, you make them at least break even or profitable, and then you launch retargeting in a separate campaign. And so you optimize for reach to reach more people. So what I mean by that is, just to illustrate it with example here, let's say here, so as you can see, that's basically the retargeting, and this campaign was a bit more profitable than the other one. But as you can see here, it's optimizing for purchase, but at the same time, optimization for ad delivery is daily unique reach. So we are not restricting it with conversions, because let's say if we have like 1,000 people visiting the website, then and we optimizing for conversions, Facebook will only show our ads to like 10, 20 people, right? People that are likely to convert. But if we use daily unique reach, we retargeting basically all of the people that have been to the website in this specific time frame. So in this situation, it will be people who've added to cart in the last 30 days. Right, so you have to like keep that in mind always to basically just have it set up for daily unique reach, and have your retargeting set up. Right, so these are some of the ideas for the audiences you can use, like view content last 3 days, add to cart last 3 days, like initiate checkout last 7 days, website visitors last 180 days, 75% video viewers last 30 days. So and other ones, right? You have to exclude purchasers. You can use automated placements, and also you can have like 2-3 variations with video images or carousel. So you can give Facebook more variety of ads to basically optimize it for you. Now, to scale to 7 figures with Facebook ads, I mean, sooner or later, like any winner ads will stop working. I mean, even if you hit like very good ads, like sooner or later it will stop working. So the key to win with Facebook advertising long term is constant testing of new creative for the same product. So let's say you have the product that done well for you, right? So let's say like this one is, let's say that's the product that we have that's basically working well for us, right? So sooner or later it will stop working, right? So all of these metrics will start to decline. So relevance will go like to 8 will go to 7, our CPMs will go up, so we will not be able to compete as effectively. So sooner or later this will happen. So our goal is, in that case, is to test a new creative, right? So we test with basically, I mean, in my estimates, like you need like 5-10 new videos per month for the winning product if you want to scale up, like properly, right? So just have this in mind, that you need to basically test new creative always, right? As a starting point, you can test first 5 seconds of a video, which we call thumb stoppers, to not create a totally new content. So you can go and create the totally new content. You can ask like influencers. I'll have so other my training video on video content creation and production explains all of that in great detail. But at the same time, you don't have to do the whole content from scratch. You can just go and basically test first 5 seconds of the video. So as I showed you here, some of the ads, right? So these are images. But here, for example, you would just test the first 5 seconds. You don't have to test like the whole, the whole like video from scratch. So here you can test this, right? Versus this, right? This can be like first 5 seconds, right? So that's just one variation of this like testing, right? And then like you measure the click-through rates, you measure whether people are clicking through, whether they're buying, and you're constantly looking for that new content that you can scale up to more and more audiences. And as I mentioned, you can test images too if product is low ticket or like it's easy to understand this product. So you can basically watch my other training on video content creation and production. As I showed you, some videos and some content for photos works well too. So here, for example, like this one, it's easy to understand what product this is. Like it's easy to sell a product like just with the image. So that's why it works and it's been scaled quite effectively. So that's it for this video, guys. So that's how to do Facebook ads for e-commerce in 2018, how to launch and scale product with Shopify Dropshipping. And I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please just click subscribe to my channel so I can share more valuable content with you and help you do well with your Facebook ads, with your e-commerce business, with your dropshipping business. So I release new videos every single week, so make sure you subscribe to my channel, make sure you like, and if you have any comments, please just post them below this video. I'll make sure that I get back to you with answers.